Hello again. I'm Dr. Wendy, aka Dr. Every Woman, and we're taking off the white coat. Hello and welcome back. I am Dr. Wendy, aka Dr. Every Woman, and we are here to just talk about all things women's health. The white coat is off, and we are going to get into today proper vaginal and vulvar hygiene. How do we keep ourselves clean? How do we know what products are safe to use? And what can we do if we don't feel quite as clean as we want to feel or fresh? Okay, so let's get into it. I also need to shout out that my son is getting into clothing design. He made this shirt design, and my baby girl made these earrings. I will have to put them on Etsy or a version of them because these are mine. But yes, I have some little creatives on my hands. So the problem that people have is staying fresh or feeling fresh. So how do we tackle that? First things first, what is the vagina supposed to smell like? So to me, it's not supposed to be completely odor-free. We can notice the difference between a scent or smell and an odor. Odor is pungent. It's often offensive. It's not what you really want to sign on to, correct? But that doesn't mean that you should be completely scentless. We are biological humans. We are people. There is very little of anything that grows that is going to have zero scent. I mean, apart from like certain plants, but even most plants have some sort of scent. And so if you lean up close to your underwear, like after a long day and you smell a little something, that's because you're alive and well. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. But if you get up from a chair and you're like, ooh, is that me? You know, your chair air. Have you ever heard of chair air? Somebody told me about chair air a long time ago when I started the podcast. And I was like, bruh, chair air. But it's literally when you get up and you're like, that's my booty or my vulva. Like that's an odor and that's not okay. So we can definitely tackle that and improve that. Or similarly, you go to the bathroom, you go to take your pants off. You haven't even urinated or anything. And you're like, is that me? If you got an asking issue, it probably is you. So we need to deal with that. But if you, again, lean up close and get up really onto a panty liner or the gusset of your underwear and you smell something, that might not be an odor. That just may be your scent. And that's just what life is like. Cleaning is important, but cleaning on the outside is what's important. We are not douching. We are not putting soap or washcloths, even our fingers up inside of the vagina and swirling around and taking things out. The inside of the vagina, we call it a self-cleaning oven. I don't like that analogy because who out here is using their self-cleaning oven feature? Not me. The idea, though, behind that is that it cleans itself. So it is a self-cleaning situation. It is a self-cleaning instrument. It is a self-cleaning machine. It does not require us to clean it. It keeps its own ecosystem. Would you go to the rainforest with some Lysol and try to clean up the outback in Australia? No, you would not, because you would be disrupting what's normal in there. We don't want to disrupt what's normal inside. So we don't want to be in there flushing things out and moving things around because we're going to mess up the normal balance that's supposed to be on the inside. But the outside definitely needs soap and water. Please don't let nobody tell you that you don't need no soap and water on the outside, unless your sweat glands are made like mine. The way my sweat glands are created, okay? I need soap and water, okay? And that's like the hair-bearing areas, the outside skin, we need to clean. But I'm also extremely sensitive. So I, for the longest, used Dove because it was very gentle on my skin, but it actually doesn't clean very well to me. So I'm coming out with the soap. Y'all stay tuned. Everybodybrand.com. Go to everybodybrand.com and subscribe to my newsletter. The soap is the everything, okay? Anyway. That was an aside that I did not mean to bring into this video. I know it's like, of course you did, and share products, but it's important because I love these products and I want you to know about them, but this is still a video about cleaning yourself. So find a gentle but effective cleanser for you and only use it on the outside. Outside lather, wash it up. I do like a African net sponge or even a washcloth as long as you can keep it clean. If you want to just use your hands, I'm not against that. In fact, I want to make a separate video about why I do think it's important to, at some point, clean your body with your hands. Hey, well, let's get into it. I do think it's important to feel all of your skin. I can't tell you how many people I find a lump or bump and they have no idea it's there, that's there. And I'm like, do you touch yourself? You got to touch yourself. Now, I do think, again, an African net sponge or something to like give you a little bit of exfoliation and kind of agitate and clean is important, but also use your hands at times. So we're cleaning, we're rinsing very well, we're drying off, we're being very gentle with ourselves. Being gentle with ourselves. Yes, you can get in between the labia, you can get under the clitoral hood without stretching and pulling and causing yourself harm, because I've seen that too. So be gentle with ourselves when we clean. I like products that are glycerin-free personally, because glycerin for me is irritating. Glycerin might not be irritating for everybody, but if you find that, man, every time I use this kind of soap, or every time I use this or that, every time I travel and use the soap in the soap in the hotel can be more irritating because sometimes it has more harsh ingredients that our bodies aren't used to. So for me, I like to stay glycerin-free, but that's up to you. Do what works for you. I like pH balance. Making sure you're not using something that is, going to mess up your pH on the inside. Even though we're not using it on the inside, it's so close. The outside of the vulva is vagina adjacent. It's vagina adjacent. And so I want you to be really careful with what you put externally. And then me and bath bombs. Bath bomb is like a 4-letter word in my house. Do not put nothing in my bath water. I didn't take baths for real. I take showers. But if I take a bath, none of this fragrance, frillies, flowers and butterflies in my bath water, because absolutely not. Okay. I want my vagina happy. It wants to be happy. So there. So cleaning externally, rinsing carefully, patting dry, and being very careful with ingredients. And if you're not sure what ingredients are good for you, everybody ran, y'all. I got stuff for you. But again, sorry, that was the last plug. If you're somebody who says, hey, I'm clean, I wash, I do all the things, and I still feel like I have a scent or a smell, well, maybe you need a probiotic. And not all probiotics are created equally. You will see some probiotics that are intended for GI purposes, that are intended to keep your stomach and your intestines working well. My husband happens to be a gastroenterologist, a GI doctor, and he does not subscribe to the probiotic bandwagon. But if it works for you, it works for me, and I'm not going to sit here and judge. But just know that GI probiotics and vaginal probiotics are not one and the same. The vagina flora, the bacteria of the vagina, are different than the bacteria in the gut. And so we want to make sure that if you're going to try a vaginal probiotic, that you're using one that is intended for, improving the lactobacillus and the vaginal. You want to use one that's good for the vaginal pH and the vaginal flora, the bacteria that are good within the vagina, like lactobacillus. I do like a couple of brands. You go through my Instagram, you'll, I'm sure, find some sponsored posts about different brands. I never do a sponsored video for a brand that I don't already stand by or endorse. So if you find something there that you're like, ooh, she talks about this probiotic, then that's why. But I'm not going to mention it here but I do like those probiotics, and I do support them even outside of the partnerships. So I like to keep these short and sweet. That is the general summary synopsis of how we can make sure that we stay fresh and clean, and that we give ourselves grace if we do have just a scent at the end of the day. That is part of being alive and well. Drop in the comments if you have any questions, or if there's any other topic that you really want me to cover. I'll be happy to, because this is fun. I enjoy this. So let's do it. Let's do it more often. And as always, visit your friendly local gynecologist. Bye.